This is your Barbados Today Evening News Update for Monday, November 2. So glad you could join us. Barbados' COVID-19 travel protocols have been updated. Antigua and Barbuda, the Cayman Islands, Cuba, Estonia, Finland, Germany, Ghana, Greece, Iceland, Japan, Martinique, Norway, Sri Lanka, and the United Arab Emirates have now joined the list of countries deemed high risk for COVID-19. The other 36 include Barbados' major tourism markets, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada, as well as neighboring Jamaica, Guyana, and Trinidad and Tobago. 5 countries are now deemed medium risk for entry: Australia, Bermuda, New Zealand, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Only Egypt and Greenland are in the low-risk group, while Anguilla, China, Dominica, Grenada, Montserrat, and St. Kitts Nevis are categorized as very low risk. Under the current protocols, all persons traveling to Barbados from high and medium risk countries must have a negative COVID-19 PCR test done at an accredited or certified facility within 3 days prior to arrival. Persons arriving from Canada are allowed to be tested on arrival in Barbados. However, with countries in Europe and the Americas experiencing second and third waves of COVID-19, Prime Minister Mia Mottley says all visitors to the island will soon be required to arrive with negative PCR test results. In today's COVID-19 update, a 36-year-old visitor from Holland is the latest person to test positive for COVID-19 in Barbados. The man who arrived on British Airways on October 30 was confirmed positive for the viral illness after a second test. Meanwhile, no one was discharged from isolation today. Therefore, the numbers in isolation have risen to 8 and recoveries remain at 222. There are now 238 confirmed cases. The Best of Santos Public Health Laboratory conducted 480 tests on Sunday, bringing the total since February to 36,364. Farmers across the island are counting thousands of dollars in losses after their crops were flooded by heavy rains that drenched the island over the past week. Chief Executive Officer of the Barbados Agricultural Society, James Paul, told Barbados Today that while it's too early to provide a dollar figure, he has been receiving grim reports on farmers, particularly in Christchurch, St. Philip, and St. Lucie, where the land is flat and water settled.
Talking to farmers, the crops will be impacted. We don't know by how much. I know, for instance, that some crops, yes, will be impacted. And I think in case of one farmer, because all the rains were coming, you tend to find that has impacted his watermelon crop in some cases. And of course, tomatoes will be affected from things will be impacted. So yes, there will be some impact on the crop as a result of the heavy rain. Added to that too, that the thing is that the farmers will have difficulty getting into the field because it is a wet condition. Mm-hmm. And it means then that the post-harvest cost of actually harvesting the crop when they come out to the ground will increase because they have to do more washing, especially with things, if you have them, like cucumbers and things like that. See, potatoes, it really might be difficult right now harvesting potatoes too because of the fact that, you just can't get in the ground, so you have to wait until the situation is dried out.
By the end of this week, residents of Ashbyland Christchurch will have a greener, safer space in their community as part of Phase 2 of the Ministry of the Environment and National Beautification's Clean and Green project. The Sanitation Service Authority today began clearing a section of the community which had been untidy for some time. SSA Public Relations Officer Carl Alf Padmore told Barbados Today that all bulk waste in the area will also be removed as part of the project. He said Ashbyland was the second community to benefit from the Clean and Green project, following similar work in communities in the St. George North constituency.
We are going to green it, give them a safe haven to play. We are going to place some fruits, or well, we can even say flowers in the area because fruit trees will go with branch and the roots will go too far. So it's going to be basic fruit trees and there are going to be lots of flowers that will beautify the area. Today as well, what you will witness is the removal of bulky waste from the residents. This is the rainy season. The rain is so unpredictable. We have asked them to bring out those things from underneath the cellar, the backyard that they don't want. And we have a crew here, we have 2 trucks and we have a bobcat, and we're going to make sure that over the next 24-48 hours that the residents of Ashbyland will feel safe and secure.
MP for the area Queen's Council Ralph Torn was also on hand to witness the cleanup. He says it's long overdue and there are some new plans for the site.
Happier than I am are the residents of Ashbyland, from the very old to the very young. They're looking forward to this transformation of this social space. This space has been a central part of Ashbyland for a long time, except that it has been very, very untidy. The prospect of tidying up this area has excited the very young and the very old, and we are extremely happy. We are happy that this is coming to the area. We are happy that it gives them a new outlook on their area. It gives them a new appreciation for their area, and we are happy about that.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, Sandals Bahamas hints that it could be reopening its doors early in the new year. More in this report from ZNS News.
Sandals Resorts International officials have set a tentative reopening date for its resorts here in the Bahamas. The news coming from Sandals Resorts Deputy Chairman Adam Stewart, who revealed at this week's Exuma Business Outlook that the company is looking to open the doors to the Sandals Royal Bahamian in Cable Beach and the Sandals Emerald Bay in Exuma February 2021. He says, though, that date, however, can change based on demand.
So my job now is to work with my team to play our role in trying to build demand. We're back on television advertising. We're back in the marketplace, our sales force right across the United States of America. We're back to training travel agents. We're back to playing our part of explaining how you can travel to the Bahamas. We are seeing increased demand in the last couple of weeks. The U.S. election is hindering and getting in the way of tourism at large. Right. It's a very normal thing, but this year is even a bit more chaotic than traditional years. I think we're going to see, I'm very hopeful that we're going to see an accelerated demand after next week's election. And the Bahamas is the shortest distance to go of any Caribbean destination. And I think that's going to favor well for us.
And on the international scene, police report that at least one person has been killed and several more wounded, some seriously, after shootings in central Vienna. Police say several attackers armed with rifles launched the assault in 6 different locations. We have an update from France 24.
The ongoing police operation appears to be morphing from one focused on those 6 initial locations where the attacks erupted to a manhunt for additional attackers. That is to say, attackers in addition to the one who was shot dead by the police, according to the police. And the warnings from the police as well have gone from telling people to avoid the first district in its entirety, the central area of Vienna where this series of attacks originally unfolded, to avoiding being out in public at all in Vienna. They're basically saying, get off the streets. If you are at home, stay at home. And if you are in the streets, then get off the streets and go somewhere safe. That's because, as you say, they are still hunting for what they believe to be a number of additional attackers. And while that manhunt appears to have been focused initially on the first district, I understand that it may be being broadened.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Exuma Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.